Good evening, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Nka. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze, and welcome. We're here broadcasting live from the beautiful city of Enugu, and I mean the Cold City State. We're on DSTV channel 254, Gold TV channel 17, and Free TV channel 748. I hope your week is onto a great start. It is Tuesday, and I hope you're basking in just fine, taking your vegetables. I do not take vegetables, but we're advised to take fruits and vegetables, and I hope you're doing just that. Speaking of fruits and vegetables and everything that makes our minds, our bodies, and everything just stay good, today's guest is someone who's going to touch a bit of everything that concerns our minds, our bodies, maybe not fruits and vegetables today, but she's going to dive into conversations about her brand and how it borders around how we maintain our mental health, our everything about it. I'm going to talk to you about all of that when we go on a quick break. Come back from it, I will introduce to you today's guest. Don't go anywhere. See you in a bit. Welcome back to Nka. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze. Like I said, today's conversation is not about fruits and vegetables, but about how we care for ourselves, not just caring for ourselves. I don't know if you know that your hair, your skin are somehow in relation to how your mental health is. And I do not know this. I found out just recently, and today's guest is going to tell us all about that. And she's not just all about hair, skin, and all that. She is someone that has been able to create a whole brand about helping you build a proper image. Tonight, we will be having a special guest who's dedicated her career to helping people unlock their full potential and live their best lives. She is the founder and creative director of the Olive Tree Place. ChinyereMma Olivia is a renowned expert in image management, like I said, professional presence and wellness, with a passion for empowering individuals to cultivate self-confidence and self-expression. ChinyereMma has built a reputation as a trusted coach and consultant, from hair care to skincare, and from personal branding to professional development. ChinyereMma's expertise spans a wide range of areas. Join us as we chat with the ChinyereMma Olivia. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hello. Okay. It's giving, I'm a professional. Take that. You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. That's, I had to start with the whole fruits and vegetables. You know, we're told that taking fruits and vegetables has a way of, affecting our hair growth and skin, the outer look of our skin and all that. But going through your profile and all of that, I saw something you said. I'm trying to find it. I may not get the words exactly. I will just paraphrase. You said something around the lines of our hair and our skin is kind of affected by the way we care for our mental health. Something along those lines, right? So I'm like, I got interested. I'm like, is this why I don't have front hair? Do I have front hair? Because my mental health is a mess. But we'll talk about that. We're coming to that soon, right? So I think the first thing I want to ask is when I saw your profile that said you studied power systems engineering at Federal University of Technology, Owerri.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that studied one thing and they are currently doing another thing. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that. Did you know you were going to do something totally different from your career path, or just tell us the whole thing? Give us the tea about studying that and doing what you're doing now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, hi. My name is ChinyereMma Olivia. Okay. I'm a hair care specialist. I'm also a self-care, self-awareness, and self-love.
Every self-thing.
Advocate.
Every self-thing.
Everything that's doing yourself. That's my business. Mm-hmm. So I did study engineering, yes. Okay. That was a full decade ago. And why did I study engineering? So this very funny story.
Okay.
I think, when you get to that point in your secondary school where you're supposed to choose what you're going to do in your university for like JAMB registration.
Yes.
So I think my father had taken out a whole 3 months during my JSS3 break. First of all, I was the last of the last in my class in secondary school, like junior class. And by last, I mean I used to feel at math. I wasn't good at anything that had calculations. It would just throw me off. Like once there were numbers, I couldn't get it.
Okay.
And for someone who did engineering, that was a lot of numbers.
I was going to ask that.
So I had this time where I had done my junior work and I failed. I think I failed maths. I had an E or a D. My dad was just like,
I had
no.
a D too.
Oh yeah, welcome. And my dad was like, no daughter of mine is going to fail math. And then he took 3 months out of his work schedule. And every morning he would sit down. He had like cardboard papers, like different colors, and he'd take them all together and filled up like the room in the sitting room. So in the morning, he'll give me the new general math textbook.
Are you serious?
And he would tell me what exercises to do. And he would tell me, force your brain to get it. You can get it.
Oh dear.
It was almost like magic. So he would force me to look at it. He said, look at, if you only solve one today, but you'll be here for 8 hours. And we did that every day for 3 months. By the time I went back to school, my math teacher, she would be teaching, and then she would say, if they ask a question in class, she'd just be like, if you have any questions, just ask her. Because by SS1, I had done all senior class math textbooks. So by the time I got to secondary school graduation, and my father was like, okay, what do you want to do? I'm like, oh, I like to draw. I draw really well.
Oh, wow.
I like to draw, so I want to do architecture, because I was also best in technical drawing in the school.
Wow.
I thought I was like, female architects are poor. No offense to female architects now, because I know that they are really making money.
Yes, yes, a couple of them are.
Yeah, but then I thought I was like, oh, there's no future for that. You're good at math. I think you should do engineering. And that was like the worst decision ever, because it was hard.
Yeah.
It was a hard 5 years. I think at some point my father just said, he said, just graduate when your mates are graduating. He didn't ask me for my result like the entire time. He just said, just graduate when everybody's graduating. And make sure you don't have an extra year. When you come out, whatever it is you want to do, I'll support you and do it. So that was how I did engineering, and then went on to graduate, and then I went into hair. By the time I was in school, I was sewing, I was making coconut oil, I was doing palm slippers, I was going to a bar, sleeping at a market. So like my father always encouraged us to like have like business on the side. He was an economist.
That makes sense.
He was a banker too, so he was always like, you have to have business on the side. But at the point I was doing it so much in school, he was like, if you don't stop, I will not pay your school fees. So yeah, I stopped, and that's when I now started doing hair. Because I could, all the other things I was doing needed me to leave school. I would have to go to a bar to buy fabric to sew shirts, or I'll have to go and buy coconuts in one random place. It was a lot. So it was like, just stay in school. So that's when I started doing hair, because people only had to come to my room. So and I would do my braids, and I'll go to class, and people were like, oh, your braids are nice. Where did you do it? I'm like, I do myself. So that was it. And yeah, I started doing hair in my 4th year.
So you mentioned sewing at some point.
Yes.
So you could have easily decided to create a whole brand with sewing, but you chose hair. Why? Why hair?
I still intend to have a brand with
sewing.
Yes, because it's something that I have as a gift. My mom actually used to have a fashion house too.
Oh.
In fact, everything I do, my mom did. She had a fashion house.
Even
she had
hair?
a salon, yes.
Oh, wow.
She had a salon. So I decided that it was good to start with hair, because it was personal to me. I didn't have issues with, it wasn't a personal problem for me with my hair. Was I had psoriasis. So my scalp would always flake. It would always be white,
Oh dear.
And I think I went to the salon one time, and they washed my hair with bleach and then detergent. Yeah, actual bleach.
Wait, does that happen? Do people, is it right?
It's not right.
Okay, because that's scary. That's scary.
For that.
Bleach, detergent?
Yeah, bleach and detergent. So like, I think at some point my scalp was on fire. So I was like, that's the last time I'm going to a salon. So that was it for me. I stopped going to a salon. I started making my treatments at home, in my room and my kitchen. So basically that was why it was personal for me to start hair, because it was a personal problem I had, and I had to fix my problem. And in fixing my problem, I realized that I wasn't the only one with that problem. In fact, most of my clients in the last 10 years have had similar issues, because if you have bad hair, it would affect your confidence.
Oh,
Yes. Because the quote you were trying to say was...
Okay, I found it.
Yes.
There is a deep connection with a person's hair, and their skin, health, and mental state.
Yes. So your identity is linked to your hair and your skin. So how you feel about your hair, how you feel about your skin, how you feel about... Before you get to the outfits, right? So that's why I thought it was wise to start with hair. It's like the first thing you see when you see anybody. You notice their hair first. Before you even start looking at their face or their body features, you see their hair from a distance. So that's why hair.
That makes sense. And I also see that you kind of prioritize the whole African woman image. You love to. I noticed it from some of your posts, and that's beautiful, right? Because there was a conversation on Twitter very recently about a lady whose boss told her that you guys call it 3D hair, right? I don't know, virgin hair, 3D, yes. So I think the boss told her that she wouldn't have that hair in the 4C. Thank you so much. She wouldn't have that hair for the to interview that company. She was coming to work with that hair. So she came to Twitter and said that was rude, that it's sad that we Nigerians are not being comfortable in our own hair. That why would her boss tell her to have a wig on or make hair, that kind of hair, without having her appreciate her 4C hair? For someone like you who is a hair specialist, I'd like to know what you think about that. Was she in the wrong by coming on social media to criticize her boss for preferring her do something about it? Because at the end of the day, she is his employee, right? He's the boss. So I don't know, what do you have to say about maybe Nigerian women glorifying their hair and people out there also appreciating our own hair to other kinds of things? I don't know.
Okay, that's a toughie. It's tough because I'm wearing a wig.
But we know you grow your 4C hair.
Yeah, my hair is long, of course. My hair is long. If you ask me, I would say, first things first, what was the appearance of said 4C hair that she wanted to use for this interview?
Exactly. She didn't post a picture. No, she didn't.
So it's a very one-sided story. And there's something that ChinyereMma Olivia says, there's a danger in a one-sided story. So because it's one-sided, I would say, yes, I want Nigerian women to accept their hair. I want them to love it. In fact, that's all we preach in our brand. In fact, we don't touch extensions with a pole. We try like braiding extensions. We try to make people just be comfortable with your hair. Right? So if you ask an African woman, the average African woman didn't get introduced to her hair until much recently.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you check it, that's like 25 years of not knowing what your hair feels like. So we don't actually know and understand how to care for the hair. So one of the things that we thrive in our brand to do for our clients is educating them about their hair and telling them what they need to do for their hair to look better, more presentable. Because it's not just, where your African hair is. You have to come up with a look that is suitable for you. It's literally like thinking about it in terms of personal branding. Like, if people see my hair, how do I want them to feel about me? If they see my outfit, before they get to my outfit, once they see my hair, what image does that portray? So if your boss says, oh, you have to change your hair for whatever occasion or interview, right? I would say, because you work there, please change your hair, unless you might lose your job, right? But then we also have to ask, what was the state of the hair for the boss to have asked? Because I've never been, I'll send somebody already that, I walked into the office with my wig on, and everybody was just like, you have, like...
they were surprised to have a wig.
Yeah, they were surprised that I even wore it.
Why?
They know I have wig, but they're just surprised
that means you've been rocking your natural hair.
I've rocked my natural for like 3 years, right? So they were just like, you wear your wig. I'm like, well, love you shorts. Like, what's the problem? But then I've never been, and I was telling one of them at the office that I've never been anywhere with my natural hair, and I got a reaction that I wasn't presentable enough. I've never gotten that response from anybody. Why? Because I wash my hair every week. I make sure it's neatly braided.
You pack it well.
And I pack it well. Yes. And I sleep in a silk scarf. And I wake up and go.
Like, what is the essence of the silk scarf?
Yeah, it's a silk scarf to basically like preserve your hair, really and truly. Like, when I walked in here, I
should write that down, because I don't know.
Take notes.
I don't know what that does. Okay. I'm taking mental pics. Okay.
Yeah, so it would help with, helping your hair stay silky and less frizzy, right? And if you wanted your hair to stay in place and you didn't want to use gel, like, I don't use gel. I just tie a silk scarf and sleep at night, and I wake up and it looks like this. Right?
Oh.
Yeah. So I think it's very important for people to understand that if you want to wear your hair, then you have to either invest time or money.
Right.
So you can't just have the fro standing all over the place. And think, even me, even in my office, like the natural hair salon, I've fought with people that come to work and I'm like, why is your hair like this? And it's not even bad. She packed it in a bun, but like, it's like, no, this is unacceptable.
Right.
I want to carry a natural hair, but please make it tidy. Let it be presentable. Do you understand? So yeah, that's what I'll say about that.
It wasn't a topic. You said it was a topic, but it's not. You ate this question up. You ate it up, and that's beautiful. So let's talk about your salon, right? Let's talk about the salon. That's the Olive Tree Place. Oh, you have ChinyereMma Olive. Okay.
Yeah. So the Olive Tree Place is a group, and then there's the hair, there's the wellness, and then there's the consulting part that helps with personal branding. And
is the podcast also part of it?
The podcast is the girl journey. It's a personal thing, so it's part of the personal branding thing. So that's how I reach out to clients who want to like get coaching or mentorship. So it's from my personal brand. So the podcast is the girl journey podcast. Yes.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That means I would like to know this whole thing, because how I got to know about you was a certain video, black and white video, where you were stating why you stopped making hairs. So I'd like to know, so you have a salon that makes hair, but you stopped making hair. Does that mean you do not touch clients' hairs anymore?
Okay, so let me say what I said.
Okay.
I said why I thought being a hairdresser wasn't enough.
Okay, wasn't enough. All right.
Yeah, so it wasn't enough. So doing hair, making money in my comfortable, cozy salon space wasn't going to change anything in Africa. Oh. That's what I was trying to say there. So for me, I haven't stopped doing hair. My lifeblood is doing hair. Like how will I meet people? How will I connect to people? How will I help them if I'm not interacting with their hair?
Yeah.
You know. And for me, hairdressing is a very, very spiritual thing for me. So I believe in, transference of energy. So I love to meet with people who have good spirits and good hearts. And if you're having a bad day, by all means, I would have that connect with you and I would help you through it. So I think that why I wanted to do hair or more than hair was to educate people and help change the mindset of African women. Because the primary educator in the family is the mom. So if you have a father and a mother, the children will spend at least 10 hours of their time with their mother, more than they do with their dad, probably like 5 hours with their father. So it's important that women have proper self-image, because what that does is that it helps us retool ourselves for our future in such a way that when we get to that point where we have those little ones that we have to actually transfer knowledge or wisdom into, we have the adequate tools for that. So I didn't think that just doing hair and selling commercial beauty in the way it was being sold was enough. I thought it had to be deeper than that. I thought we had to have conversations around self-mastery, have conversations about business and spirituality, about the family unit, so you come to the salon nowadays and we're just having conversations like this in the salon.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we're just a group of women having conversations, recording ourselves, having mad conversations about how to, develop ourselves, our families. And so it's for me, it's education. It's more about education more than it's about beauty now. Because I believe anybody whose mind is educated is beautiful already.
That's wow, because I made my hair last week and
it's nice.
Thank you. I listened to the conversation that were on in that salon, and you don't want to know what you were talking about.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. It was actually a thing where my mom actually prayed on my salon floor, and she said that in this salon there will be no gossip.
Oh my.
There will be no random comment. Because my mom had a salon, so I'm sure she knew
what went on
in the salon. So she was like, there will be no gossip in this salon.
This is beautiful.
There will be no careless conversations. Nobody will come and talk about men here. Nobody will chase men here. So it was like just set apart from like the start.
Education. Oh dear. Congratulations. You won with that one. Speaking of hair and all, you happened to style Onyeka Onwenu in 2018, 2017. I'm not 2017 because Lionheart was released in 2018.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience. I am a huge fan of Onyeka Onwenu of blessed memory. I was heartbroken when she died for real. For someone that just watched her. Oh dear. I mean, you met her eventually. I did not. I loved her from her music, her movies. These things were personal to me. I grieved actually. So tell us about the whole experience of styling, how you were contacted, how you met her. You said something about her voice was so... Tell us everything.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, how was I contacted? Okay, so I started my business, I think, September 2016. I think 6 months before I got this call. And then I was just starting. So I was
Were you out of university at the time?
Yeah, I graduated already. I'd done my youth service.
Oh,
in fact, I was in camp and running my business. So I would go to camp in the morning and come back to the office in the afternoon. Yeah. So anyways, so 6 months before that I just started, and then I got a call, I think sometime in March of the next year. That's 2017, and this was just before my birthday. I think it was 16th March or 15th March, and I got a call, and I was actually fetching water from the well. Let me just be honest. I remember I was doing that day. I was fetching water, and I got a call, and the call said, "Oh, we're doing this low budget movie in Enugu. We want to know if you're willing to be our hairstylist, and we're hoping that you're affordable." And you know, someone said we can reach out to you in Enugu. So I was like, "Oh, low budget. Okay, let me call you back. I'm on something. So let me finish fetching my water." When I finish, I go out to this. I call my friend who has a salon in Lagos, and I asked her, I'm like, "Okay, you've done movies before. This is a call I had." And she was like, "Oh, don't mind them. They're not low budget."
I was going to say that. They're never low budget.
She was like, "Don't buy them. They're not low budget. Tell them to come to Enugu, then you go to their hotel. Then when you get to the hotel, you see." And this is me giving tips now. When you go to their hotel.
Take notes, guys. Take notes. ChinyereMma is loaded.
So when you go to their hotel, then you now see where they are lodged. Then you know it is low budget. So when I got there, I was like, this is not low budget.
Okay.
And then to my surprise, I get put in a hotel room, and I was like, "Okay, just wait there. The person is coming." But the person that walked in wasn't actually Onyeka Onwenu. The first person I met was Chinalurumogu Eze.
Oh dear.
So she just walked in like so restless, so restful and peaceful, and just, no airs about her, and just sat down with her tea in her hand, and just was like, "Oh, how are you? How are you doing my hair?" And she was like, "We're speaking Igbo." He was like, "Okay, please see." And I was like, "Oh, Imo State." And that's how we just, vibed.
You're from Imo State too?
Yes.
Oh, are you just like her? I'm from Anambra State.
That's too, like, okay. So that was just it. And then I think for Onyeka Onwenu, some of the scenes where she was on set, I just had to comb her hair, to be honest. It wasn't that deep. So
it's not that deep.
No, you said I styled her hair. I said the hair was beautiful on its own. All I had to do was just comb it.
Let me make you understand what happened. You literally breathe the same air like Onyeka Onwenu.
I'm trying to say that I didn't do much.
I know you're trying to be humble. You're trying to be humble, but that's okay. But at least you did something to Genevieve and Naji.
Oh yes, all the hairstyles in the movie of Lion.
Oh, even Jemima Osunde, she was in the film. Oh my god,
everybody.
Celebrity stylist over here. Oh dear.
So yeah, it was just very surreal experience. You walk into a room and she's just singing. Like, she never stopped singing.
She never stopped singing. Oh wow.
Action. And she was, I think someone came to kneel down beside her to greet her. She was like, you don't have to do that. Just stand and talk to me. I know a normal person. Like, she was very chill. Yes. So yeah, it was a good experience. I'm very grateful to Genevieve Naji and the rest of the crew right? for that experience.
That reminds me, let's take a trip down memory lane on what Lionheart was like. If I remember correctly, I said something, I made a mental picture of the hair used in the film. I don't think there was any hair extensions. It looked so natural. Maybe there were, but it looked so natural, right? Yeah. So was that what they wanted? That was what they wanted? Was that what you brought the idea? I don't know. Just tell us something about
so
that.
They gave me a mood board.
Okay.
And the mood board was specifically that Adeze does her hair herself.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
so she can't look like she went to the salon.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, she was transitioning her hair. She wasn't fully relaxed or natural either way. So she had a lot of volume underneath. But regardless, we still had to use extensions for like some of the bonds and stuffings here and there. And I had just like 20 minutes for each style.
Oh wow!
So it was like a quick. You didn't have the time to start installing extensions and taking out extensions. So you had to think on the spot of how to get it done. So yeah,
I'm asking about that because that was good.
Thank you.
I did not know it was you, but I knew that. I said whoever was the hairstylist gotten for this film did a good job.
Thank you.
Because Chimamanda also is also someone that does that whole natural hair stuff. Yeah. So even if she's using an extension, you wouldn't even know because it looks all natural. And I saw it. It was a replication in that film. Like, damn, I loved it. And to date, Lionheart lives forever in my soul. And of course, Onyeka Onwenu. Oh, this is such an emotional part of the show. It's such an emotional part of the show. Okay, guys, I hope you're enjoying this conversation. We had to talk a little bit about Onyeka Onwenu and how ChinyereMma Olivia met her. She's downplaying it. She feels she didn't do so much to the hair. But the fact that both of them sat together, she combed her hair, all of that matters. Nobody cares about the other things. I hope you're listening. I hope you're taking notes and a bunch of other things. We'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we will continue the conversation with ChinyereMma Olivia. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Nka. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze. I'm still here with ChinyereMma Olivia. Welcome back again, where we have been talking about hair. So let's bring it up. But first of all, I don't know why these things are not on your social media.
What's not my social media? Be specific.
Onyeka Onwenu and all the stuff. You didn't do BTS and all the stuff.
If I did it, it would probably be 10 years ago. And it'd be way down my feed. Yeah. Well,
your personal handle is not there.
It's there. It's just archived.
It was archived. So this is the part of the show where we kind of take a trip down memory lane with our guests, right? So we basically post throwback pictures. There's nothing
of me, right?
There's nothing. Oh, you think? Okay. Next time, what we're going to. Okay, no problem. I come back. The next time you're gonna be here, I'm going to invite a private investigator and they will get it. Okay. It's all right. No wahala. Well, it's a good thing that this part about Onyeka Onwenu was still there, and I got very interested and needed you to talk about it. So now let's just leave hair and all that for a while. Let's talk about your podcast, The Girl Journey. So what inspired it? Was it the whole conversation about also making sure that as much as we're doing about hair and skin, let's also see how we can also change the world with our personal lives. So tell us all about how you started the podcast and how far it has been.
Okay. So the Girl Journey podcast has actually been there, but not as a podcast, as a community for since 2016. So we had our first launch and event, I think it was April 23rd, 2016 in Lagos. And had a bunch of bloggers and influencers, and this was 2016, 9 years ago. So we decided to make a podcast, but the Girl Journey was inspired in 2014 when the Boko Haram thing happened.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was on my way back. I think I was traveling somewhere and I was listening to the news on my phone or something. But I know I was listening to something.
Okay.
And I kept thinking to myself, what kind of man raised by a mother would go into a school and carry 234 sisters or mothers, Yeah. So it became apparent for me that that's when it hit me that the woman was very important to society, not just in terms of going to work or doing anything, but just nurturing those minds. And every single time I thought about the word girl, the thing that kept leaping at me was growing. Eventually, I came up with an acronym for GIRL, which is Growing Ideally Refined Ladies.
Okay.
So it's actually bordered around enrichment, enlightenment, and education. So we want as many women as possible to get in touch with their real self. So it was just about introducing women to themselves, to the girl in themselves. Like every woman is seeing that you have a girl inside you.
Yeah.
And there are high chances that girl is probably dealing with some trauma or some wound of some sort. Every child, every girl has something in their childhood that they're still dealing with as adults that have even framed how they think and how they see the world at large. So the girl journey for me was about my own journey and getting more people to go on that journey of healing themselves from within. So I tell a lot of stories on my podcast about personal, experiences and things that have changed me and my mindset and how I've grown, and how I've gone from this person who used to think a certain way and I've become this other person who's, thinking about the world beyond myself. So I want more women to actually think about the world beyond themselves. And I think that's how we're going to make the world a better place. Like if every woman was giving birth to what she was carrying and that meant healing her girl child, then we would all have a very thriving society and nation.
Yeah, we would. Yeah. We would. So do you have any plans of, moving beyond a podcast to maybe a conference, a convention for girls, women, stuff like that? I don't know.
I'll let you know what my board members decide.
Okay, but I'd like to know if you've ever thought of that. Ever. Has it ever crossed your mind?
So, yes. But like I said, my board members haven't yet reached that conclusive
No
decision.
problem. Yes. No problem. That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. Changing the ideologies one step, one podcast at a time. That's beautiful. So let's talk about the image management thing that you do. Tell us about all that, because that looks like big grammar, image. I don't know. So tell us about all you do with image management.
Okay. So let me say this. I think that people's perception of you is a projection of what you're putting out there. So if people think that you're a warm, loving, kind individual, it's simply because of what you've projected into the world.
Right.
So the image management for me isn't just about how you look in terms of appearance. It's about leadership in terms of your mind and character. So I'm big on character. I'm big on speech. I'm big on how you speak to people, how you speak to yourself, right? So image management is kind of building a right identity that is solid. So if your identity is founded on there are 8 forms of well-being, right? So if you have your identity founded on environmental well-being, which is where you live, or occupational well-being, where you work, or financial well-being, how much you earn.
Okay.
Or what's the other one? Social well-being, who you know. If these are the 4 things that you're focused on, then your identity is a bit warped. You don't have a clear identity of who you are. And that's why when you ask people, oh, tell me about yourself, they'll start off by, oh, my name is this, I work here, I live here, I'm from here. But your image, your identity is built around 4 essential parts of well-being, which is your emotional well-being, your ability to hold your emotions, to be stable in your emotional state, your mental well-being, how you think, how aware are you of yourself and others, right? So not only am I teaching people to be better versions of themselves, but I'm teaching them to be better human beings. Right. So self-awareness is also about being aware of the other person in the room and thinking about how they're feeling and what they're feeling about or what they're dealing with. And if you're able to build physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being, and spiritual well-being, the other 4 just unlock themselves to you, like naturally. So for me, image management is teaching people to focus on what matters. So we have courses centered around self-mastery. We have courses centered around becoming a wife masterclass, because I believe that everybody should be a wife or a husband even before you get married, because marrying a girl or marrying a man is not the same as marrying a husband or marrying a wife. It's not the same. So we have courses centered around founders masterclass. We coach founders on how to be better leaders, because the truth is that the people who work in your organization will never actually tell you how they feel about you to your face. Okay. Yes, but you have to have a level of self-awareness where you can tell yourself the truth and be like, this thing I did yesterday, I think that was really bad and I should apologize, without anybody telling you. You should be able to do that. But that only comes from you having very sound emotional and mental well-being, where you can sit down and revise your day. And then from a spiritual well-being perspective, you're honest and truthful with yourself to say, okay, I really, really did mess up and I should fix that. So I'm very big on getting people to be better human beings. And that's what image consulting is for me. It's about, I see you now, but I see who you can be. And my job is to get you from here to there. So I'm like a bridge.
Oh, a bridge.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know how do you do that? Because I feel that someone's personal goal and their professional goals rather may not exactly be in line with what they are putting out. So how do you ensure that their public image is in line with their personal and professional goals?
Oh, good question. So the first thing I ask people is, or take for instance, I have a founder sitting in front of me. The first thing I ask the founder is, where do you see yourself? And where you see yourself is affected by your career goals and your personal goals.
Okay.
So if you want to earn $1 million, for instance, your personal goal has to change. There's a certain way you have to start eating. There's a certain way you have to rest. There's a certain way you have to think. There's a certain way you have to talk. So you can't be wanting to earn $1 million, but then you still open your mouth and say Nigeria is bad. So that does not, in your mind space, that doesn't correlate. So what I'm doing really and truly is getting you into a state of mind where you can achieve your personal goals and your professional or career goals, but with a balance. Because people always say that there's no work-life balance, but I think I want to believe that there's work-life balance when you're doing the work that you're so absolutely loves. Because at that point, the line between work and play just blow out. And you're just having so much fun at that point. Like I'm having fun all the time.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I'm rarely ever tired because, of course, physical well-being is there. I exercise, I eat healthy, I eat vegetables,
there goes those vegetables I talked about. Those vegetables we talked about in the beginning.
I eat my vegetables. I sleep. Oh God, I sleep.
You can sleep there.
I can sleep there.
Walai.
Once it's 9 o'clock, I'm out. I can't sacrifice. And if I do lose sleep for any reason, don't get me wrong. There are times where you have to go all nighters and you have to get projects executed. If I do lose sleep, best believe I will shut down for a few days just to sleep. Yes. And like it is important that you sleep. Like when you actually rest, your body actually can rebuild and repair itself. And in terms of your memory and what it does for your brain, you have it's almost like you have a RAM and a ROM. So your ROM has to copy onto the RAM when you're sleeping. So it's almost like there's a transfer of information that you gather during the day to your mind. So most people who forget a lot and they don't remember things, they're not resting. You know, half the time we sleep, we wake up, you're still very tired when you wake up. You check, how did I fall asleep? What did I eat before I went to bed? What was the conversation that I had before I went to bed? What did I consume on social media before I went to bed? All of these things actually affect you as a total human being. Yes. So I teach that.
There's so much value right now. Oh my God. There's so much value. I hope you guys are taking notes. Wow. So I'm pushed to ask, when you're not recording a podcast, when you're not running all salon errands, when you're not styling someone's hair, when you're not being the professional image man, when you're not everything ChinyereMma is, rather, what do you do for fun? Aside sleeping, please.
That's hard though. Someone is here judging me, but that's hard. It's hard because I'm someone who spent 1 year in my house and I didn't leave my house for 1 year. So
wait, go back.
That was fun.
wait. You know, when people actually come on social media and say these things, I'm trying to wrap my head around how that is even possible. You have people run your errands for you that you do not necessarily have to leave your house. You know, there are a couple things that could. Okay, you can have service at home from the phone, of course. You work out at home if you do that. You never left your house for a year, even to gossip.
First of all, I don't gossip.
Even to whisper to somebody.
The one time I went out to go and whisper, they kidnapped me. So yeah.
How long ago was this?
Oh, that was 2023 October.
2023.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let us go back. How? Why? Where? When?
I wouldn't say I know why, but I'll say when was after working hours. I think at the time I was a friend of mine and we just got abducted. But then God. I was able to speak to them and
you spoke to kidnappers.
Yeah, I told them I love them.
Motivation. Wait. You know, the more we keep having this conversation, I'll say more sides to you, ChinyereMma. You spoke to kidnappers.
I told
Probably
them
you told them you love them. And they
said,
say,
"You love me,
go.
why?" I love you now because I love God and you're carrying God inside you. So I love you. And perfect love cast out. Because I was asking why I was not afraid of him.
Oh, you weren't?
I was cool. I was cool. So and he probably just thought I wasn't panicking enough for someone who had been kidnapped. And he said I was acting like it was only one person that they kidnapped because there was someone else that they kidnapped who was panicking. So I said, she's panicking. I'm trying to calm her down. Like, both of us can be panicking at the same time. Right? And then that was how the conversation ensued. And then we kept talking. And then I said,
you kept talking with the kidnappers.
I talked to them about purpose. I told them they were not supposed to be kidnappers.
Hey. I hope you're learning whenever you get kidnapped. Tell them you love them. ChinyereMma 2025. She said, tell them you love them. But you that goes to say that you were so good at what you did, because at that point in time, what you did, you had to apply what you're doing to those guys.
Yeah.
The way you spoke to them and all that. It takes congratulations again. And just like that, they dropped you off and
they drove all the way back because they had passed Anambra. They were heading to Asabatu, but they drove all the way back to Enugu.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I prayed for them, and at the point they just passed. And
I cannot stop saying, oh my God.
Sister Nakba, she get high again. What are we going to do? We don't know what to do again. And nobody has ever prayed for them before. Dear. Yeah, so I said, just take me back home. And then we took us home.
And I must commend your audacity. Your audacity.
That's the Holy Spirit.
Oh my God.
Credit to the Holy Spirit.
Right?
Yes.
For real, I couldn't. I would be so scared to do anything, because at that point in time, I'm having 1 million thoughts. Would they cut out my head? Would they cut out my tongue?
True.
Oh my, that's the Holy Spirit for real. Because, wow. Okay. Before we went to that, you were telling me what else you do for fun that is not sleeping.
That's how we said that I stayed in my house for 1 year. Okay.
Yes.
What do I do for fun? I don't know.
If you have to think about it.
You know why I have to think about it?
Why?
Because everything I do is fun.
Okay.
So that's the thing. Like,
but I specifically said when you're not in your.
When I'm not sleeping, when I'm not working.
Yes.
Right? I'm saying everything else I do is fun for me.
Okay,
like going to the market is fun.
It's fun.
Cooking is fun.
It's fun.
I promise you, it is fun. Oh my God, it's fun. Cooking is fun.
Working out is fun.
Yes, those morning walks. Oh my God, seeing the sunrise.
Amazing.
That's sometimes
seeing
so
the sunrise.
It's so weird. Eating cucumbers is fun. Like, everything is just so fun.
Are you trying to say
I'm serious.
Cucumbers.
I'm serious.
Really?
That's how you stay young. Just make sure everything is fun. Even when people are being annoying, just make it fun.
I'm not going to say what I have in mind, because what is this? Do you sing? Do you sing at all?
Yeah, I do. But don't ask me to sing, please. I only sing in my bathroom.
I get that. So, of course, singing is fun for you.
Yes.
So, what your playlist? What do you like to sing about?
So my playlist is not really about singing. My playlist is more about dancing.
Okay.
So what I have on my playlist is not something I listen to and sing along. When I'm singing, I'm just singing like whatever.
What do you sing about? Any song?
I just hum tunes. Like, that's what singing is for me. Like, I just hum. Yeah. So I had this friend of mine who's a Buddhist monk, and he said to me that I asked him why he doesn't listen to music. He said that he can't listen to music when he's surrounded by so much music. And he told me to keep quiet and listen to the music in the environment. So that was it for me. I started listening to the music around. So
what is the music in silence?
Silence. You hear the wind. You hear the trees rustle. You hear, if it's raining, you can hear the tap on the roof. You can, yes.
I don't want to say weird.
I'm weird, and I love it.
It's not. I don't want to say weird, right? But I think it's really good. You feel like you seem like someone who loves nature.
Oh, yes.
Breeze, wind, rain. This is
every human being was designed to love nature.
Yeah, not to like nature like that.
No, because you see, the world just makes you so encapsulated in your rooms. You have your devices, you have your blinds that shut out lights for days, so you can't tell the difference between day and night. You don't go under the rain to play. Like, if you did all the things you did when you were a child, you'd never age.
Oh,
I've looked like this since I was 16.
Bathing under the rain as a child.
Yeah. Just running around, just playing,
with no care in the world,
right? Yeah. So those worries actually leave you when you actually practice play. So, and I used to look a different way. And when I started living my life like this, I literally went back to how I looked when I was in secondary school.
Wow.
So I know for certain that that lifestyle is good for every human being. And you would know by just looking at children. That's how they live. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
So much value. You're so inspiring. I hope you're having fun because I am. And I don't know what you would classify our guest as. Would you say she's weird? I think she's weirdly interesting. And I like it. We'll go on a quick break. And when we come back, we'll conclude this conversation. Do not go anywhere. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Nka. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze, and I'm still here with the beautiful, the delectable, the quintessential ChinyereMma Olivia. It's been a delight conversing with you. So typically I would have told you to sing, but you said you hum instead. You don't sing. So I don't know what feeling to do right now. Oh, really? You could?
Maybe.
Okay, but okay. Let me give you this. So this is this is not exactly a this or that question, but yes, it is this or that. So I'd like to know. It's a quick 10 seconds ish answer game session. So lipstick or earrings?
Earrings.
Curly hair or slick bun?
Curly hair.
Power suit or Ankara two-piece?
Hey, that's hard. I have both.
No, you can only have one.
Power suit.
Okay. Loud makeup or bold fragrance?
Bold fragrance.
Okay. So Brazilian, no, there's no Brazilian. What is it called again? I'm trying to explain this in a way that you want to. Okay, so either pixie curl or long hair.
Pixie curls, yes.
You prefer pixie curls. So Hollywood or Nollywood?
Nollywood. What do you like?
Okay. Afrobeats or Western music?
Afrobeats, yeah.
Oh, you prefer Afrobeats?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for staying with me on that. So I'd like you to tell everyone watching you one self-care tip that you live by. So use your camera here and tell everyone. Let's conclude with an advice from you to everyone watching. One self-care tip that you live by. Let's go.
Okay, so one very easy self-care tip that I live by. It's affordable. You don't need to break the bank for this. Use your nose. And no is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain why you're saying no. No, I can't come. No, I don't want to do it. Just no. It's fine. The more you are able to say no, the less weight you have on you to please people. So you have to know that self-care, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're saying yes to everybody, you're just depleting yourself and nobody's pouring into you. So please use your nose wisely.
Beautiful, beautiful. You have all heard it from ChinyereMma Olivia. She said, use your nose. You do not have to always say yes to that person. When you're not comfortable with it, by all means, say no. Nobody will beat you. And if they try to beat you, you can as well reach out to her and she will deal with them. I hope you had fun because I definitely did. Thank you so much for staying with us in today's episode of Nka. I hope you enjoyed it because I definitely did. We're on DSTV channel 254, Go TV channel 17, and Free TV channel 748. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze. See you next time.